shine.
Alright, so what's up boys and girls, welcome back to another video. It's your boy here, TWarrior, and if you've seen the previous video on the mini cut, also known as the deload phase, I said to you guys that I'm going to give you a more in-depth of what's going on with the mini cut and also the cycle that I took during the Eat Big to Grow series. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the cycle that I took, the reason why and like why I took it, etc. So like I said, I'm going to pretty much try and give you all the in-depth that I can, all the information on why I'm taking everything, why I'm starting this mini cut phase. Just give you all the details and keep you up to date with everything, but I want to keep this video as brief as I can. Keep it as simple and easy for you to understand, because at the end of the day, there is no technology or science behind it. It is common sense at the end of the day. It's easy stuff. So if you have been watching the Eat Big to Grow series, if you haven't, check out the link in the description below. But anyway, if you have been watching the Eat Big to Grow series, you'll have noticed that a few people were commenting saying, are you on some sort of cycle? And like I said, I will always be honest to all my followers and subscribers. Yes, I was on the cycle, but what I believe in is I always believe in growing naturally. So for me, what I did is I grew as naturally as I could, just try and grow with eating right food, training hard, resting, that sort of stuff over and over again until I hit a plateau. So for me, I hit around 192, 193 pounds, and then I noticed that I just wasn't increasing my gains. I wasn't growing any further, so I noticed that this was pretty much my natural potential of growing, and I wasn't actually going to grow any further than this unless I started taking some sort of cycle. So I always advise, if you are going to take a cycle, first of all, see how far you can grow naturally. If you are new, if you are a beginner, training, bodybuilding, that, just keep at it. You know, if you are young, if you're 15, 14, whatever, that age, just keep going. Don't think about cycles at the moment. Just keep going, keep growing. This is the main time for you to really grow naturally and see how far you can grow. Once you hit that plateau, that's when you can consider taking cycles. Again, if you have seen the previous video, I don't want to promote cycles, and also I'm not one of those that knows everything behind steroids and other cycles. So there are other YouTube out there that do know everything, and they know all in depth with steroids, cycles, the side effects, benefits, all the more in depth science behind it. So they're more likely the people for you to go watch if you want to see more in depth. But I just know the basics of most cycles. So that's another reason why I do not want to promote it, because I do not want to give false or wrong information out. But I say, I don't disagree with it, and I don't also agree with it. You know, I just want to give you honest opinion. I want to give you raw content and be honest with you guys. But I don't want that to be my main source to grow my channel. But for me, like I said, I hit that plateau at 192, and then I knew I needed to get on some sort of cycle. Especially if you want to take your bodybuilding career seriously and you want to reach that next level, you will have to consider some sort of cycle, unless you are some genetic freak. But if your name is Phil Heath, Kai Green, or if it isn't, you're not going to have that sort of genetics. So you will have to maybe consider some sort of cycle, and that's what happened with me. I hit that plateau and I needed to hit a cycle. So the cycle that I took midway through the Eat Big to Grow series, I didn't actually start the cycle from the beginning of the Eat Big to Grow series. I started somewhere towards the end of the series. And the cycle that I took on was training FNA with test, and this was just really to help blow up, improve my strength, and just overall enhance my recovery, my testosterone levels, and, you know, build stronger, thicker muscles. So with that cycle, I ended up reaching 226 after Vegas. Just before I went to Vegas, I was 219, and I had 2 weeks left on the cycle. So at the end of it, in total, I'm 226. So as you can see there, I put on a good amount of mass and size over that period of the cycle. A lot of it will be a mixture of everything, you know, muscle, body fat, water retention, a load of other things all put in together. But overall, my strength levels increased incredibly. I put on some good size. I broke that plateau. So for me, it was pretty much necessary. You know, I needed to get on that cycle because I want to take my bodybuilding career to that next stage. So that's the reason why. My journey now with the cycle is I've come off the trend. My trend cycle has finished last Thursday, and I'm now doing this mini cup for 8 weeks, and I will be just taking the test just to keep my testosterone levels quite high. And the reason why I'm keeping the test in is because throughout that cycle of the trend, my gains are going to increase, and I do not want to lose it. If I just come off the cycle and completely go to nothing, taking no cycle at all, my gains that I got during that little cycle, I'll just lose over a period of time. So I don't want to lose those gains, because otherwise that was pointless in that cycle. So for me at the moment, for the next 8 weeks, I'm just going to be taking tests just to keep what I've gained still there, and like I said, to keep my testosterone levels back up. And then after this mini cut, I will consider maybe going back onto the trend again, because that really works for me. I really enjoyed it, and I just felt like the biggest improvements and progress came from taking that cycle. But that's pretty much what I'm going to tell you anyway with the cycle, because like I said, I want to be honest with you guys, but I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm not saying you should do it, and I'm not also saying you shouldn't do it. You know, at the end of the day, you are your own individual person. You decide what you want to do. But what I will say is, if you are a beginner to all this, stick naturally and just grow to your natural potential. You know, grow as much as you can by just training hard, eating right, get those calories in, and then once you hit that plateau, maybe then consider it. But other than that, that's pretty much on the cycle. Now, going towards the mini cut, which also I like to call my deload phase, because this isn't a prep. I'm not going into any prep like that. All I'm trying to do at the moment is just give my body a deload and kind of a rest. So over the last 4 months of the Eat Big to Grow series, I've been increasing my calories weekly. I've been eating large amounts of food, large consumption of calories as well. And over the time, this will, you know, put some damage onto your digestive system, your liver, everything else inside the body. So what I want to do is just give that all a rest. So for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to slowly decrease my calories, decrease my carbohydrates, fats, you know how it goes, and just give my body a bit of a relax, rest, and also, like I say, just drop a few pounds that I've gained over these last 4 months. My aim is 10 pounds total by the end of the 8 weeks, but I am not going to stress if I do not reach that target. If I lose 5 pounds, 3 pounds, 8 pounds, whatever it is, I'm fine with that. The main thing is, as I said, I just want to have a deload. Bring the weights down a little bit, but I'm not going to bring the weights down too much, because at the end of the day, this is another thing that people get confused with, is when they're on some sort of prep or trying to lose weight, they drop all the weights to really light weight and they just go for volume. They go stupid high reps and they think this is the answer to lose weight and cut. For me, it's not. You know, the best way to lose weight is still stick heavy. I believe in whatever you're lifting on the off season, you want to stick as close as you can when you're cutting, because at the end of the day, the intensity of lifting heavy weight will, you know, increase your heart rate, and what this will do is this will help burn more calories, use up more energy, and at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You just want to burn more calories and use more energy. So I like to stick to as close as my off-season weights as I can. They will drop, you know, slightly, because obviously your strength will decrease with the calorie increase, obviously if you're not on some sort of cycle, etc. So at the moment, I'm still trying to keep them quite heavy. For example, today I'm doing squats. I'll still squatting 140. The video of that will be up later on in another video in the week, so check that one out. But I'm still squatting quite heavy, and also on the leg press, I was doing 400 kg. So gives you an insight of what I'm lifting still, even though I'm coming off the cycle and I'm on some sort of deload mini cut. So the weights will gradually come down and decrease over the time. But other than that, that's just my principle and how I like to train on the off season when I'm doing this cut. So like I said, I'm not going to stress if I do not reach the target of 10 pounds. If I reach 10 pounds, that's going to be great for me. If I, like I say, if it's even 2 or 3 pounds, I'm not that bothered. The main focus is just to give my body that deload and give it a bit of a rest and almost a rebound from all the heavy lifting and the large consumption of calories and food. So my training split at the moment, and I found that this gives me the best results at the moment with recovery and everything else, is I'm doing 3 days on and 1 day off. So I'll train, for example, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll rest on Thursday, then I'll repeat another 3 days, 1 day off. This for me has found the best results so far. I used this quite a bit in the Eat Big to Grow series. I did a couple of weeks when I was doing maybe 5 to 6 days a week, but other than that I was doing the 3 days on, 1 day off, and I just found the best recovery was from that, the best repair of muscles, and I was obviously able to go back the next day stronger, and I just felt overall energy levels were high all the way, every week, week after week. So that's my training split at the moment. With the cardio side, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm sticking to 2 days on, 1 day off. So almost like the training split, 3 days on, 1 day off. I'm doing 2 days on, 1 day off, and this will be AM cardio, which is literally just a couple of laps around my park, a gradual pace walk with my dog, which will normally take about 30 minutes, 40 minutes maximum. Now, I just said, it's just a gradual walk. It is nothing high intensity or anything like that. And then obviously in the evening, what I'll do is I'll do my PM cardio, which will be straight after my weights training. I'll do 25 to 20 minutes on the stair mill. That's what I'm going to start off as. Again, I don't want to go balls to the wall straight away. I don't want to start going straight away in my first week, 6 days a week or 7 days a week of cardio, doing AM, PM every single day, because at the end of the day, when I hit that plateau after week 2 or week 3, I still got another 4 or 5 weeks to go. And where do I go from there? If I'm already doing 6 to 7 weeks of cardio, 6 or 7 days of cardio a week, where do I go from there? That means I'll have to start increasing and doing 1 hour to 2 hours or maybe even 3 hours a day. For a night, it's just going to be too much for me. So the aim is to lose as much weight as I can by doing as little as I can, and then gradually increase things, or decrease calories. So for example, I'll either increase cardio gradually, so I may increase my time or increase how many times I do cardio a week, or the other option is to gradually decrease my calories, carbohydrates, etc. So with my calorie side, what I'm doing is, the last couple of weeks of the Eat Big to Grow series, I checked out what my calories are on the MyFitnessPal app, which I had on my laptop. And the last couple of weeks, I'm pretty much eating consistently the same amount of food every single day. So I got on the rough what my macros are and what my calorie intake was. And I was sitting around about 4,200 to 4,300 calories for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the Eat Big to Grow series. My macros was 500 grams of carbohydrates, 130 grams of fats, and about 250 grams of protein. So now I'll work from that. That'll be my base line, and I'll now work off of that, and then I'll gradually decrease things. I do not want to decrease everything dramatically. So I don't want to go from 500 grams of carbohydrates to 200 grams of carbohydrates. Again, like I said, the first week, well, I'll hit that plateau 2 or 3 weeks into the mini cut. Then I'm stuck. I've got balls to the wall. I've hit the plateau. Where do I go next? That means I have to drop down to 100 calories carbohydrates, then to 50 carbohydrates, and then before you know it, I'm eating nothing. I've got no energy to do anything. So at the moment, what I've done is I've dropped my carbohydrates to 400 grams. I've only dropped them by 100 grams. My fats, I've only dropped by 30 grams, so I'm now eating 100 grams of fats. And I've increased my proteins to about 280 to 300 grams a day. So that's what I'm at the moment with my macros. My calorie intake is about 4,000 or just under, so I've only dropped my calories about 200 to 300 calories at the moment. So everything's only tiny amounts at the moment, and then what happens is now I can gradually tweak things and change things up when I need to, when I hit plateau. So like I said, the main thing I want to do is I want to lose as much weight as I can with as many calories as possible, as many carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and as well as little cardio as I can. So that's the goal. You know, you want to do as much as you can, and you know, while still consuming as many calories as you can, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be in a calorie deficit where you're only eating 1,500 calories a day, because you have no energy level to get anything done, because obviously you have your workouts to do, your cardio to do, your everyday life activities, and also your day-to-day job, you know. And trying to do all that while eating 1,500 calories a day, you're going to have no energy, and you're just going to completely crash and burn out. So try and stick as high as you can and bring everything down gradually. What I'll do is when I hit that plateau and I feel like I'm not losing enough weight, or the weights hit a plateau, I'll decrease, my first aim will decrease the calories before I start playing around with my cardio. So what I do is I'll decrease my carbohydrates to about 350 grams. Again, nothing major. I'm only dropping them about 50 grams. I may even drop it down to 375, so I'm only dropping 25 grams. Small little tweaks here and there. And then I may then start moving over to my fats and then dropping them down about 10 to 20 grams. So my proteins will always pretty much stay the same. It will stay around 280 to 300 grams per day. I won't tweak that at all. You know, the main thing is you want to start increasing your proteins when you're on some sort of cut, to keep protein synthesis and keep your protein muscle tissues, you know, stable and growing, you know, because you don't want to start eating in your muscle tissues and then you start losing your gain. So the carbohydrates and fats will decrease, the proteins will start increasing from obviously when I was on the bulk, and they'll then stay as they are, you know, because when I was on the bulk they were a little bit lower. That was around about 1 gram per pound of body weight to 1.2. So it won't that dramatic. I know a lot of people think you have to eat 2 grams to 2.5 grams per pound of body weight. I like to decrease my proteins when I'm on some bulk, and I like to mainly focus on carbohydrates and fats. I think the big way to grow in your off season is carbohydrates. You know, that is the key. A lot of people just stick too many proteins into their diet. You know, they're still eating 300 to 400 grams of protein in the off season. That's not what you need to worry about. Just focus on the carbohydrates and get those in. You know, increase them as high as you can without trying to gain too much body fat. So that's pretty much a rundown of everything that's going on. This is going to go on for the next 8 weeks, but again, I'm going to see how my progress goes. If I lose the 10 pounds in 6 weeks or 5 weeks, it pretty much probably won't happen, but if it does, I'll then stop. You know, there's no point me to carry on for another 2 weeks, because my overall target is to hit that 10 pounds. Again, I'm just going how my body goes. 6 to 8 weeks is pretty much the target. I won't go any longer, and I pretty much won't go any shorter than that period of time. So mainly it's just give my body a rest and a rebound, and then after this I'll go back. Won't be going back to the Eat Big to Grow series, but I'll be going back to the bulk, and then I'll gradually increase my calories again. So what will happen is when I reach whatever my macros are at the end of the 8 weeks, so let's say my macros ended up at 200 grams of carbohydrates, 300 grams of protein and 70 grams of fats, I'll then start my bulk again, but I'll gradually increase everything. I'm not going to go straight back to 500 grams of carbohydrates. I'll gradually build it up again, so I know that I can grow with lean muscle mass as much as I can and won't grow as much body fat over the period of the bulk. So I'll gradually increase everything. So I'll start with 200 grams, gradually work my way back up, so by 50 grams each time. So I'll go 200 to 250, 300, 350, 400, back up to 500, and then hopefully we'll then start be able to increase over that 500 grams, and then go on so on 550, 600, 650, 700. You got the idea where I'm going. So that's the whole plan. That's the whole phase at the moment. The deload, give my body a bit of a relax, bit of a recovery, repair, and then see what I can reveal after these last 4 months. I know I've improved in so many positive ways. Shoulders have come out nicely, chest has started to develop a lot better on the upper chest. If most of you guys know the physique update video that I done a few weeks back, my upper chest was one of my most lagging body parts ever, and it's always been one of my most lagging body parts, but it has increased so positively the last 4 months. I say biceps, triceps have got a lot thicker, shoulders have got a little bit wider, legs, everything just seems to be improving and progressing nicely. So I'm happy how things have ended, and I'm also excited to see what I can reveal. You know, with the 10 pounds will be quite a lot of body fat, so if I can lose that 10 pounds of body fat, I'll be able to reveal some of the progress to you guys of how much I've progressed in the last 4 months. So hope you did like that video. Hope you got an understanding of it. Like I said, it's no science and there's no technology behind it. Too many people like to complicate things and start saying you have to do this technique, that technique, this calories, these carbohydrates, these fats, these proteins, this and that, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, what you have to do is, when you're bulking, train hard, eat some goddamn food and get those calories in, and rest. You know, just recover and rest as much as you can. In the when you're on season or you're on some sort of cut, you just have to do the opposite. Train hard still, eat a little bit less calories in a calorie deficit, and still rest and recover as much as you can. It's that simple. There's nothing else to it. So that's pretty much it. I hope I haven't bored you. I hope you got a good understanding of what's going on and what's happened. Like I said, I will keep all my content as raw as possible. I'll speak the truth with you. I will always answer your questions. You know, I will not, like I said, keep promoting cycles on my channels and on my videos. If you do ask me what's going on with cycles, or have any questions on the cycles or anything else, you leave them comments in the description below, or in the comment section below, shall I say, and I will answer them back with the truth, honest my opinions, and also the truth, honest answers. So give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I hope you did. Much respect to you guys. If you do have any comments, leave them down below. Check out the series of the Las Vegas and also the Eat Big to Grow series. All the links are down below to the playlist, so you can see all the videos and watch them back to back. You can have a binge on the series. Other than that, guys, I'm off. I'm done. I'll catch you guys on the next video, and always remember, stay safe. Make it happen.